Yes. Missing. Check it out, black girl, Lord's trying to lighten the tone. She ain't trying to hear nothing like nobody home. She all gassed on an empty tank. She play with God, bet your shit gon' sink. That Jim Jones drink, keep passing it around. I'm in your town trying to catch a rich rebound. Don't want no broke girl, gotta make it hurt, girl. Look me eye to eye, tell me you fit for the cause. You can whip, let's ride, bad bitch by my side. She always claim I'm so emotional, cause I don't be in my feelings like I'm supposed to do. You could call me ice cold freezer, cause I'm mad quick to up and leave her. Them bubbles fizz on the surface. She's my ex-flame all on purpose. Watch me work this, watch me work.
Yellow bottle, sipping, yellow Lamborghini, yellow stop missing, yellow.
Yes. I'm Dr. Giles IMPERIAL. I got MFC in the building. It's that time.
Salute.
How's everybody doing? You okay, MFC?
Yeah, Thursday. It's a Thursday.
Yeah. One more day to the payday. Will you owe me pay up today? That's how we doing it. Yes. Yeah.
They say like and subscribe.
Yeah. Hit that button. What they say, hit the button, hit the bell. You know, I ain't too proud to beg. Ain't too proud to beg. I'm gonna get that Cash App going once I get MFC. They ain't see it yet, boy. I ain't too proud to beg. Put that hat out. Yes, but there's a lot of things going on, man. There's some things that, as much as you try to joke, it's just very, very sad. You heard what's going on in Florida, MFC?
Oh yeah.
With your boy DeSantis?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to change the narrative with slavery, everybody. Yeah, that should be highly unacceptable. You don't think so?
What
I think
that's
what they should be out there marching about.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Right? That's like the biggest thing. Like, how are you gonna disrespect something that made you, who you are? America. As bad as slavery was, slavery's a big component of how America was made, as powerful as we are, the most powerful on the planet. If you took slavery away, then, that wouldn't be possible. So
but that's about changing the narrative, like you said.
Yeah, but that's just like, it's certain things where definitely the karma is not going to be there. And just if people, under a rock or something, you haven't seen this, just check this out. This gives you a little bit more of the play.
Backlash against Governor Ron DeSantis and the Florida Board of Education over the state's new standards for teaching the history of U.S. slavery.
These are the most robust standards in African-American history, probably anywhere in the country.
The new guidelines require middle school students be taught, quote, how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. An idea Vice President Kamala Harris in Florida Friday lambasted.
How is it that anyone could suggest that in the midst of these atrocities, that there was any benefit to being subjected to this level of dehumanization?
In high school, the guidelines require the teaching of both acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans, which Florida's Education Association says diminishes an event like the 1920 Ocoee Massacre, where at least 30 African Americans were killed for attempting to vote. A volunteer member of the task force tells ABC News he stands by their work. Amid criticism, the standards gloss over the horrors of slavery.
It is the case that Africans proved resourceful, resilient, and adaptive, and were able to develop skills and aptitudes which served to their benefit, both while enslaved and after enslavement.
And I wasn't involved in it.
On the campaign trail, DeSantis distancing himself from the specifics of the curriculum, but still defending the new guidelines.
I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life.
And tonight, Republican rivals for the 2024 presidential nomination piling on. Former Texas Congressman Will Hurd writing, slavery wasn't a jobs program that taught beneficial skills. It was literally dehumanizing and subjugated people as property because they lacked any rights or freedoms.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's woo. Yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
true.
And that's why I get so fed up. You got people, act power stuff and everything, and they do nothing but, fester up, problems that have nothing to do with, uplifting the community. And you got things like this. I kind of barely hear people talking about it, complaining about it. And they
Well, I
wonder why
know it
we're
was
being
a big
treated
thing.
on every step. We're being treated, like dogs, like animals. Like, how dare you? And this wouldn't be accepted. I couldn't even see the Latinos accepting something like this. It's not like this happened thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
There's not that much information. Like, it's all in. You got families that are gazillionaires.
Well, there's a lot of states that are against the critical race theory, and a lot of states one of the main reasons they're against it because they feel that children under the 3rd grade, because they're trying to push this out starting at kindergarten,
Yeah, but
and
this
they're
is
trying,
beyond critical race theory.
but this
Remember,
is
critical race theory, they already knocked that out. And people didn't say anything when they should have. And this is what happens. It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
First, they knocked out critical race theory, okay, because it was harming their kids, making them feel bad. Wow. So what do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, from the 60s on, even the 50s, kids had to hear, okay, when they taught about slavery. Well, how do you think that makes a kid of color feel? You see what I'm saying? So it's
right.
What's good for my kids are not good for your kids? No.
Yeah.
But we're
And when it's
worrying
whitewashed,
about
if someone doesn't know, if they don't know the history and it gets whitewashed, they'll look at the whitewashed version.
No,
then you'll come with that conclusion that, well, slavery really wasn't that bad. But that's, that of course that's not that reality. And that's why,
But that's
this
how
is
they
this
put it
this
out
thing.
there, MFC. That's exactly what they're saying. It wasn't
Yeah.
that bad because you benefited from it. That's like me saying, okay, that little girl that was getting molested across the street, she's gonna make a good wife. Why? Because she's getting her, you know what I mean? She's being taught sexual, acts. Come on. You know how crazy that sounds and is?
Yeah.
That's what I said. So people, man, and the sad part is I'm arguing with a bunch of these black foreigners, okay, from different countries that they don't care. They don't care. Oh, I would never be a slave. I would never. Whoa.
Yeah.
Even Africans. I've had arguments with Africans trying to say the same thing. But you're over here off the backs of us. At least have that respect and that gratitude. You know what I'm saying?
You have people that they look at it since they wasn't part of it or their family wasn't part of it. It doesn't affect them. But the reality is that, again, it always goes back to what a person perceives you. They go by skin color. So automatically, if you're dark skinned, you have to be either committed a crime, got away with it, and horrible, which is, it's entirely different, with the skin colors and stuff like that. So that of course is definitely bias,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's still happening till today. And in 2023, it still happens.
Yes.
It's not as bad as it was 100 years ago, but still.
Yes, it is.
People,
don't
people are standing
up. Don't say
up.
that, MFC. I beg to differ. That because I've had that argument as well. Oh, well, we're not as bad as. That's like me saying, okay, I'm only being abused. Okay, that's like a woman saying my husband he's not as bad as he was 10 years ago. He used to beat me in the morning and the night. Now he only beats me at night. It's still not nice.
Oh, that's true. Okay? It's still wrong. It's completely wrong.
Okay, so that's it's real simple. Equality. Treat me the same as you treat yourself. How hard is that? Not to mention, if we keep throwing it under the rug, it's just going to get worse. Let's deal with the problem. Okay, this is what happened, so it doesn't happen again. Let's tell the truth of it. Let's not mix it up and okay, hey, was it that bad? That's when it can happen again. Just like we let that critical race theory 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we let that run under the rug when they was complaining about it. Oh, we have other things. We have Corona we have to deal with. We have to deal with the jab. And we let that slide by us.
Yeah.
When I can't see that happening with the small hats. You know why? Because they're on code. They wouldn't let nothing go down like that. You seen what they did to Kyrie Irving? When all he did was pass on some knowledge of a DVD he saw that he liked.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
That's what needs to happen.
That's true.
Okay. My black people out there. Hold on, let me put this on so you can see. My black people's out there. Okay. They got nerve to talk about other things, talking about other people's kids. And let me take the time right now to apologize to some fools out there. I had the audacity because you know what? I was totally not raised like that to talk about somebody's wife. Okay, to talk about somebody's kids. You know how pathetic that is. If I have a problem with you, I'm gonna talk about you. So I'm gonna take this time, okay, to humbly apologize to New Jersey Jay, to apologize to Oliver. Okay, yeah, you still a piece of crap to me, but your kids and your wives are, off bounds, and people take heed to this. You know what I mean? That's what makes a real man or a real woman. You're a real woman talking about somebody else's kids. You know who raised you? But let's get back to the act, because I see a lot of this going on, MFC, and this is why we're in the predicament we're in now. Why they could throw something like this where, like, whoa, you wouldn't even go for this, DeSantis? Come on now. If your ancestors been through, oh man. But that just shows total lack of empathy, MFC. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. So you need to act like you don't care. And I don't mean nothing violent or nothing like that. I'm talking about your push in life.
Well, see, and to go against this, what a lot of people have done, at least here in New York, they've taken their kids out of public school. And they're either been private schools or the home training. Yeah. And this way, you have control over exactly. And then even for the parents that weren't able to home train, they're now setting up their own agenda of what they're going to teach in their home. Yeah. Okay, that's another way. There's always a way to get around stuff. Like they always tell you, if there's a wall there, you either go through it or you go around it. And you never let that a wall set you up and stuff like that. Unfortunately, in a lot of these cases, what they want is just to keep you going and going until this generation dies out. Yeah. And then the new generation that really doesn't, they're not in tune like that, right? And then it'll get whitewashed away and stuff. But again, there is too many people out here that are advocating, and this is not going away. This is definitely not going away.
Again,
okay. And as more people get along.
Governor Ron DeSantis appears to have been caught in a lie, and now he's facing backlash from all sides of the political spectrum after defending a new public school standard that teaches the lie that some Black people benefited from slavery because it taught them useful skills. This is what Governor DeSantis said after the new standard was announced.
Well, you should talk to them about it. I mean, I didn't do it and I wasn't involved in it. But I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith in.
Okay, I want this to stop that real quick. You see how he keeps doing a potato? You hide the potato, you pass it. No, it wasn't me. I'm supporting it, but it wasn't my. I've been hearing that since I was a little kid. With Bush. It's a typical politician move.
But reality is, the slaves that came here, they already had skills from their country.
They didn't come here with nothing. Let's say it right. No. They were kidnapped here. Let's get it right. Yeah.
Well, kidnapped. Right.
Yeah. That wording has to be right. Yeah. They didn't come here.
But they still came with
I've had somebody tell me, we're immigrants. No, we're not. The foundational Black Americans are not immigrants. Okay. Get it right. We didn't come here. We were kidnapped here. And then there were ones that were already here. But that's another day. Okay, dealing with the natives. Shout out to all my natives out there. But let's get back and hear more of these lies.
Into doing things later in life.
But now Governor DeSantis seems to be changing his tune.
And we fall for it.
Particular provision about the skills, that was in spite of slavery, not because of. They did a very good job on it, and there can be no confusion about where they would come down on that.
Well, I am confused because this new standard, and I'm not the only one, because the standard has sparked debate not only between DeSantis and civil rights leaders, but Governor DeSantis and Black conservatives. They are lining up and standing up to the Florida governor. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida, Congressman John James of Michigan, and Congressman Wesley Hunt of Texas. They have all rebuked DeSantis and this rewriting of American history. Look, the decision to attempt to rewrite our history and make slavery digestible, it is absolutely infuriating. The lie that the capture and enslavement of African people provided any benefit is absurd. Before Europeans arrived, African people were already running empires. They were running entire political systems. They were skilled in art, technology, math, medicine, and so much more. So the notion that African people needed Europeans to help them build their skills is just monstrously untrue.
Yep.
But you and I both know that this lie is not new. This is a narrative. And by this narrative, I'm talking about the narrative that slavery was a good thing for our country and the Confederacy was on the right side of history. That's a narrative that's been taught to our children before, all across this country, especially in states south of the Mason-Dixon line. The plan has always been to attempt to whitewash the true history of this country with lies on top of lies on top of lies. So this Florida standard is just a new way to place an official stamp, if you will, on the revisionist actions of so many folks before Ron DeSantis. So it is up to us to share the whole truth. It is important that we know our whole history, nothing but the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because those who do not know their history, they are doomed to repeat it.
Yep.
True.
She hit it on the nose right there.
Yes, she did.
Repeat it. And it seems like that's what we're somewhat doing now, MFC. You know, we're doing that now. If you notice from, you know, even online, from online in person, you know, families aren't what they used to be. You know, you see our communities, I would say ours, meaning, you know, Black and Latinos are primarily, you know, mixing. You got whites as well, because or every white is not financially set like that. But in our communities, it's get it and run. Get it and run.
No.
You know, meaning, you know, you get some of that money and you living a little bit better. You can't live in your community. You got to get up out of there. You got to hit the suburbs. Now, does that make any sense? You know, how are we going to build a community? And that's why, if you notice, the community cannot build. It's like a vacuum.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a vacuum. You can't even get a new TV. I got a friend that just got a new TV. He couldn't even bring it in his hood. He's like, man, they see what I got. They're going to try to rob me. And I've heard and seen that. You know, I've heard and seen that. I remember running up to the roof up in the Bronx because they were stealing our antenna. I'm that young. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, off the damn roof. All right.
The generation now, they don't even know what the antennas are.
No, so
yes, that's true.
No, and you know, it's no, but now it's the same thing. You got, you know, catalytic converters. You know, it could go, you know, it's a whole bunch of things. So things that are not happening in certain neighborhoods. You feel me? I can leave my garage open and leave for the freaking weekend. I got a neighbor that's going, you know, close it for me, you know, without robbing me blind. You know, and then trying to help me look for the stuff. So, and it's not that the people are bad; they're just they don't have. They don't have, and that's what it is. And we seen, you know, with Corona, how even people that have get crazy, buying up all the toilet tissue and everything. So it's not a thing as far as, you know, we don't have money. You know, as I argue with a bunch of people that are well off, and they go with well, they're just thugs, and well. You would be that thug too if you didn't have it like that.
Yeah, if you have to. And that's why my argument has always been, when someone hits it big or whatever, you know, you definitely give back to the community in the sense that you do your research and your due diligence and you find organizations and things that for real, they're not going to take your money and then pocket it, and people going around in $200,000 cars, and the community is not being helped.
Oh, they ain't got to worry. That's what I do. That's what I do now. That's what I do. And I'm going to get you a buddy in New York, MFC. Yeah, and everybody we find out that ain't doing it right, we gonna call you out. And as you know, you see on here, they can call them what they want. I don't need you. You gonna need me. And yeah, we this right here pissed me off. Yes, pissed me off. Black man with the white mama. Yeah, pissed me off. Okay, because I'm a black man at the end of the day. Get it right. Get it right. And the sad part is, I don't care if you're white, you're Asian, you in America, this should be upsetting to you.
Yeah.
This should be upsetting to you. Like, come on now. It's a thing where, and I hate when people, well, that's just a black problem. No, it's every, because if they do this, what do you think they're gonna do to you?
It's true.
Like, not to mention, it's not right. It's not a good aura. It's not good karma. I couldn't even feel right doing that.
Yeah,
I couldn't feel right doing that. Like, come on. And then at the end of the day, we're all, I don't, that race stuff is a bunch of baloney. Come on, all you people getting these these tests done, finding out, your ancestries, okay? Seeing that it's a little different than what you were told. But doesn't matter, you're still you. You're still you. I got people going, okay, oh my God, I thought that was 100%. Shit.
But you're still the same, and you're right. And you're still the same person, no matter whatever you got mixed inside you. That your ancestors, your parents, grandparents, or whatever didn't know, or they only went by what they were told. Because everybody doesn't have documents. And that's the other thing too. To erase a lot of the stuff, a lot of documents have been destroyed.
Oh yeah.
And to weaken anyone's argument and stuff like that.
Yeah, but MFC doesn't really matter.
You're still the same person. No,
exactly. Doesn't really. No, we're that caught up. I got people that, oh my God, I can't tell my family. I always told them this. And it doesn't really matter. And that was, to me, that's what makes you more better, more unique. Shit, I'm so mixed up. I couldn't tell you. I don't even want to hear it. I know I'm. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I'm not
57. 57 variety, as they call it. But you know what? At the end of the day, you're human. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All of us on this planet, we're humans. Okay, for the human race anyway. So it doesn't matter.
They don't get it. Trust me, they don't get it. We wouldn't have the wars.
But that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. That's why
we wouldn't. This is an uphill fight. We know it, and I'm definitely. Yeah, we got to get some talks, because this is getting really in our time, as they say. This is happening very rapidly. Like they're shutting things down. Even the reparations for the descendants of slaves. That's even in this discussion, when that's a debt that should have been paid.
They're going to try to drag it out. So, like I said, the people that are alive are no longer alive. And then they feel it'll dwindle away.
Yeah.
And so, but I look at it this way. So many people, no matter what the race is, people are fighting back. They're tired of, you only could push people but so far. And then they're gonna, wait a minute, this is not right. And so we're at that position now where a lot of people are either questioning, and that's the first sign something's going to go on. Okay, people are starting to question stuff. They're not just following whatever the media, whatever is being said, right? They're questioning, because they're like, wait a minute. And especially now that we have the technology, people can look stuff up and say, whoa, wait a minute, that's not the way. So this is definitely a positive. And some people that it takes a little bit more time than others. A lot of people will say, well, you know what? That's really that's not on my top 10 on the list. So I'm just going to deal with the other stuff. And hopefully there's enough other groups that take care of it. And, I don't have to put too much time or effort. But at the same time, you have to sit back, depending on how your family structure is. You have to sit back and make sure you put a plan in for how you're going to deal with your family, for the children and for the grandchildren coming, so it's, but that's why I say, I always tell people, it's always good to research, but it's always good to speak up. You go to your community boards and things like that. And a lot of times, if you get involved with your community places and you go to different other places, like here in New York, we may go to Albany or we go to Washington, D.C. It's really amazing how you meet people from Hawaii and all these other states and stuff. And they're going through the same craziness that we're going through. And so that I have to say, like, your green your green, how do you call it, a green grass, your roots, the green roots, or something like that. I got the word marbled up for the minute, but these people come out and they're doing a lot of stuff. So just because it may not be on front news, believe me, there's stuff definitely going on behind the channels, you know, but everyone should be aware. And that's why more people need to speak about this. For the people that don't know, they can find out and they can do their research.
And a judge dismissed the lawsuit seeking compensation for the last 3 survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. The survivors were suing the city of Tulsa and other entities, saying those groups were responsible for the massacre that caused a continued public disturbance. And a group supporting the lawsuit suggests that they are likely to challenge that decision.
Okay.
Yep.
See that? Example. They dismissed it. Okay. And you didn't hear a peep. Okay. A peep. All right. Especially on these YouTube streets. Okay. I'm talking to you black peoples out there, my black folks, my kin folks. You ain't hear a peep. Okay. Massacred. And if you do your research on the Tulsa massacre, okay, the Black Wall Street Tulsa massacre, okay, in the paper, they made us, okay, black folk seem like we started it when they know damn well they did. Mention they dropped bombs, okay, on American soil. So when they start talking about 9/11 was the first terroristic act, nah, there's some on our soil that we did to our own people. So. That part, you know, and everybody, like I said, you know, you call me Malcolm, Farrakhan, and all that, but you know one thing, call me somebody that's trying to see it for what it is. Yeah. Because
and spread the information.
Jokes and playing, but when you getting constantly smacked and you being a hoe, this has nothing to do with clothes, with twerking, beefing with this person. You know. Like MFC said, they see us on the street. They're not doing all that research. You know, they're going by what they see.
Yeah.
They're going by what they see and what they feel. Remember, everybody's not, and that's the tricky part. That's the tricky part. You don't know what you're coming amongst. Just like I'm quite sure they don't know, but you know, it's a scary thing because as they say, these streets are real as it can be. And not to switch at MFC, but I want to go into something just to show how crazy it is, right? You got these stalkers, because I'm dealing with something in the person I can't really get into, but it's really crazy. Like you don't know what's in people's mind state, right?
That's true.
That they seem so normal, but then you're hearing something from somebody else, like, whoa, no, this can't be, you know, and this is a female. I'm about to show you guys a male stalker, but this is a female, and that's where it's even scarier. Because remember, you know, you ladies are the best liars.
I think one out of every 3 people out here could definitely atone to this is what they've experienced and seen themselves with themselves or a family member or a loved one. Yep.
From a stalker, you mean, right?
Yes.
No, but
male and female.
It's levels of stalking. Check this out.
Recordings. Yes, it is.
It's levels of stalking, right? And oh my God, you got to get that right. Come on, you can't be putting no commercials up in there. And levels of stalking. What people understand, I've heard a lot of people, they'll take it like, it was cute at first, you know. It was cute at first, but then it got real serious. Real serious when you gotta call the police.
So Matt, real quick, just so you know, everything's being recorded today, all right? Yep. So Bay Breeze does not want you back in the restaurant. You're a trespasser there. Okay.
I'm not going in the restaurant.
Okay. If you go in there again, you will be arrested for trespassing. Okay?
Yeah, how crazy this shit get, MFC.
Charlene and that gal need to stop calling me a drug addict.
Okay.
Because it's hurting me.
Okay. So you need to stop emailing. You need to stop emailing and leaving them messages, or I'm going to arrest you for stalking and harassment.
Well, that's what they're harassment. That's what I want to charge them with. If they
you're the one that keeps coming here, and you're the one that sends the emails.
Listen, 15 years. That gal, the one in there was my girlfriend.
I know.
For 5 kids, she didn't have a job a single moment. I left her, and then she was having a mental breakdown, and she had a hole in her body, and she was a sponge of alcohol, and I had to help her. I lifted her out of that, like she was gonna freaking die. But anyhow, I needed a break at that time because it sounds
42-3. We're directly across the street to the south.
like I took on that project at 25 years old, and she was 32. But whatever, ages don't matter. But I didn't even think about that as like a task.
Okay, so why did you come here today?
To get fries.
And
I did get fries.
Why didn't you go to the Shores or one of the other restaurants? Why do you have to go to where Charlene's working?
Why not?
Well, they're harassing you. Why would you show up here? You said they're harassing you. Why would you show up here? That makes no sense.
They weren't harassing me. It was just Charlene. But her damn.
Okay, so she's harassing you, but you show up here to get more. More harassment or more what?
That's irrelative.
No, it's not irrelative.
It is until now, until they said.
So you drove here with no license to get fries from her restaurant where she's working right now. That sounds like stalking to me. That's a felony crime.
Stalking.
Yes, stalking.
Well, then she's the stalker.
Because she's at her work and you showed up?
Yep. No, of course not.
Okay, so how is she stalking you? I'd like to know.
Well, I have all of the documentation right here. So I lifted her out of 8 years at that place. I left.
Guys had a lot of history there. I know. We're dealing with what's going on right now.
Okay.
Because you guys are broken up, right?
She pleaded me, said, Matt, I thought we were going to grow old together. I'll prove my love to you. I won't neglect you anymore. I won't bring up the past. And I was relying on that just to be able to, like, just not be mean, because I have not been able to heal for 2 fucking years. And it's this shit. Like her employee saying I'm a drug addict, saying I'm calling me a fucking druggie.
Directly across the street, just to the south on Beachcomber Drive.
You hear this craziness, MFC?
Yeah.
Money is real delusional.
It's also a person's perception. Okay, and that's something they'll tell you any therapist will tell you anytime. When your perception of reality is different than someone else's perception of reality, and who's correct. So in his case, what the officer is saying, look, you're not with them anymore. Why you have to go all the way to her place to get French fries when you can go anywhere else? And that is stalking, and it's so it's emotional setting. You broke up with somebody and now they're at your job. And it's so it's
one point. Remember Kanye? I would say Kanye would be close to that. Remember that he bought a house right next to Kim. He was,
You see, a lot of these people do that. A lot of people, especially the famous ones, they'll do that. They'll do that a lot too. It's not just one. You see that thing and you're saying, wait a minute. If I break up someone, I want to get all the way on another state, or they'll use a thing. Well, I want to be close because of the children. Yeah. But that's what you got a car for. You could drive 20 minutes away, get it to another town, But I don't know. I mean, but that definitely is. And
no, that's and these
like
are
you
people,
said, there's levels. It
yeah,
could go from
and these
normal
are people
to dicey quick.
This one here, although he seems like he's not violent, I could see something violent happening, because if you notice, he kept throwing. See, when they start throwing that time, you wasted my life. I wasted all these years on you, and this is a person that'll, do some harm to you. As they say, it's a breaking point. It's a point where
again,
that was his version. Because remember, it's always different versions. You're gonna hear his version, you're gonna hear their version. Check it out. You gotta remember. But yeah, he's definitely going in. You can tell it with the history.
So what's going on with you and Matt right now?
Huh?
What's going on with you and Matt right now?
With me?
Yeah, you and Matt.
Nothing.
Okay.
I had him removed from my trailer, and I kept telling him every day, leave me alone, leave me alone. I'm getting ready to move.
Okay.
And he's like, I just want to see you. I just want to be with you before you leave. Well, and I said, no, you're not welcome at my trailer anymore. Like, leave me alone.
Okay.
I said, I will see you the day I leave. And that's been not good.
Okay. Are there any orders right now between you two? No? Okay.
And it takes me weeks to get in there and get one, and I'm leaving in less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So
are you wanting to do anything about him coming around? I'm sure trespassing at the restaurant.
Yeah, then he will not come around here. He doesn't know where I'm at. I'm in hiding spot where he can't find me right now. And if he shows up there, they see his car there anyways, they will call police no matter what. So he so far hasn't found me. I've been out there for a while. Which is why it's quite desperate.
Okay, remind me what your last name was again. Okay, we'll get him trespass from here. If you want to send me emails just so I have them, I'll just start documenting right now in case it happens before you leave. Okay. Okay, yeah. At least we have the documentation started, okay?
Well, I have called police when we tried to break into my trailer at the state park. Yeah. So, and he has no trespassing from there, and he still showed up there in the middle of the night, and I had probably in my jail.
Mr. Ruff, here's the deal. You're trespassed from the restaurant. Do not go back in there. You'll be arrested, okay?
First, I'm trespassing from this whole fucking town because the Asians.
Okay, and I'm not finished.
The lady at the Asian store, or not the Asian store, the Asian lady at the Birch Bay Park store, when me and her were staying at Beechwood, she told the people that worked there that I stole this basket thing from out the dumpster, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're going back and forth. It's definitely gonna it's gonna bleed into something else, I believe. Definitely, yeah, definitely. They and that's why you can't play with things like this. You know,
no, that's why technically when you break up, sometimes I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but a lot of times, depending on how emotionally invested you get into something in a relationship and stuff, sometimes you need to speak to somebody. And as they say, move on, you know, even if it's, you know, a lot of times you move somewhere and you don't want to move, you know, you're comfortable in the setting and stuff like that. But then sometimes it's better to just go somewhere fresh and then cut all ties, change your phone number. You know, a lot of people, I'm not changing my number. I'm not, you know, but the reality is for many things, your safety. Say, for instance, out of those 5 kids, say he has custody of 3 of them. Okay. Yeah. And stuff like that. So you got to look at the whole picture. And that's what I always tell people, because, you know, someone could call a victim very quickly, and then that could mess up your job. You could be fired depending what type of job you have, because you're having police interaction. You know, and the next thing you know, now you're in jail, and then this person has all the stuff, or they're taunting you. And even when you're in jail, they're still sending you letters and all kinds of crazy stuff to say, I got you, I got you, I got you. And they're still not happy, you know, until you have stuff blocked or whatever. So that's why I always tell people, a lot of times in relationships, everything looks cool in the beginning. But then when it gets kind of rocky, you know, it's, you know, you may think it may not happen. Oh, that person would never do nah. That's a whole bunch of talk. But you never know that person's mind. You don't know what the person's thinking. And they could just go and take it to the next level, and then you hear the horror stories.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool just a week ago, right?
Exactly. And then, you know, if you want to call it, you know, like, of course you have relationships that are considered toxic, but then you have some that they could be normal one minute, then the next minute it just, you know, it's like someone just changed the dial on the TV. You know, and it's like, whoa, and now it's male and female. Okay, it's just not one-sided thing. It's like one gender. It's both ways.
You girls be tripping. You girls be tripping.
Well, remember, you got a lot of guys that feel, if I can't have you, no one else can. You know, remember that goes both ways too. Look how many people go and they key the car, they break out windows. Right? They cause chaos where you live at. So now the other neighbors and stuff don't want, you know, they don't want it to go into their area. So, you know, you'll have the landlord say, look, you're going to have to leave. You know, you're going to have to leave. It's like, whoa.
Let's see. This is why I say you ladies, okay? I want to show you something, okay? You talk about you crazy ladies. All right, this is how you ladies set us up.
It's like this. Now, why are you doing this? Oh, for real? Can you please leave me alone? Why am I breaking? Can you please let me close the door? Can you stop? For real, Rosie? Why are you doing this? I've asked you numerous times to stop. Because you feel for your safety, right? Because I want you to stop. Now you're setting me up, right? No. this.
Now, hold on a minute. I don't mean to laugh because I know that ain't funny like that.
No,
but
you can't. You can't play with people's emotions, male or female.
I'm gonna play it again. Listen,
it's not gonna work.
It's like he turned to a werewolf. MFC. I want you to after he broke that door down, he started screaming. Where the person that sent it to me, that's what they said. They said this guy is literally going into the Hulk. Remember
because
the Hulk
he
when
had,
he was green?
He had an emotional breakdown.
That's what that was.
Yeah, definitely.
That
Because after he did that, he caught himself like, "What am I doing?" And he got so angry.
Yeah,
he got so angry.
Yeah,
yes.
and people need to get it because you could tell he got he got a little head. He got some.
Why are you doing this? Doing this like this? Now, why are you doing this? Oh, for real? Can you please leave me alone? Why am I breaking this? Can you please let me close the door? Can you stop? For real, Rosie? Why are you doing this? I've asked you numerous times to stop. Because you feel for your safety, right?
That's when you go.
Because I want you to stop.
Now you're setting me up, right?
No.
Yeah. Now see, if he wanted to harm her, he would have jumped over that broken door once he broke it.
Right, but he was able to pull himself back.
No, yeah,
he broke that door, but then he realized at the same, and that's the sad thing too, is because especially you know your ex, okay, especially if you've been around the person for a few years and stuff like that, and you realize after you've done something or in the midst of it that you've been played. And that's even more heart-wrenching because I look, I'm like I said before, a lot of people, you have your families and friends that will try to warn you, and you'll and not, like they say, love is blind, and so they're going to be there, of course, to support you, but at the same time, it's like, you really could have, yes, that person is definitely not. There's something off with that, or the behavior. And then it happens. It happens, and that's why you see some of these cases where it gets to the point where it's what they call murder suicide. They take it to the final level.
Yeah.
Because they just they may have just lost their job because this stuff is stressful, and that's the thing. Look, all of us, we all got stuff on our plates. Okay. Some people handle stress better than others, but everybody has a limit. No matter, if it's, it's, so you have limits. And so again, it's like, it's, that's why I always tell people, don't play with emotions. If you're gaming, you got to be careful because you may poke that bear and now you got a problem.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
Or what they call wake that sleeping dragon up. So again, you think you could play around that you're smooth with this, it's not going to end well. And
bring it to the hotel.
We're not even going to the level of, well, what about family members when they see their loved one, like say a teenage son seeing his mom being beat up by a boyfriend, right, or something like that, and they're like, no, you're so they get involved because they want to protect. But then sometimes you may have that mother that turns against the kid and protect.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Which is, and then there's times that you'll see that kid, because there's been a lot of cases where the kid has protected the moms and taken that person's life, and they're, and so they're, so that a lot of times, depending on what kind of type of lawyer you get and how the case goes, sometimes they'll let that person go for emotional distraught and stuff like that, and or sometimes you got to do it. You have to do a case. Have to do what they call a bid. So it's
doing a bid.
Dicey. Yeah.
Yes. I was talking about that case. Remember that Carly Russell case? Remember I was telling you it's going to be a bunch of copycats. Well, real quick, there's an 11-year-old out of Florida. Don't know her name, but check it out.
To track what their kids are doing on social media. An 11-year-old, if you can believe that, has been put in handcuffs after Volusia County, Florida deputies say she led them on a wild goose chase after reporting, get this, a fake kidnapping We have Fox 35 Orlando's Randy Hilder. She is live for us. And Randy, deputies say she told them that she got the idea from a challenge on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, and they did not and do not find this funny. This morning, she's waking up here at the Volusia County Juvenile Detention Center. As you mentioned, she was handcuffed, brought here because of this whole situation. The deputies worked up and down I-95 yesterday trying to find what they believed was a kidnapping victim. That they got an alert about someone who had been kidnapped. They even put the chopper up to try to find this person. Turns out there was no person after all. And as you mentioned, they said that the young girl said that she was inspired, if you will, to do this based on a challenge on YouTube. Deputies were able to ping the cell phone of that young girl based on the 911 alerts that had come in, tracked that to that home where she lives and found her there. And once they started talking to her and the family, they found that this lie started to unravel.
Telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old, that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
Hopefully her little friends and other parents would be like, oh my God, this isn't funny.
Now the sheriff here, Mike Chitwood, again, taking this very seriously, so much so that he is setting up a series of community meetings.
Crazy, right?
Very crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's gonna be some bunch of copycats. Copycats. People see things and they wanna hire the bar, raise that bar, as they say. So
but they should definitely make it. They should, and each county has to do it there. For every state they have to do it differently. But they definitely should make this, have these charges for people that do stuff like this, because it's a waste of man hours and even volunteers. And a lot of times when you have, especially if it's a minor, you have all these different agencies that get involved also.
No, yeah. Overall, it's
so this is and
for people that are getting kidnapped, real kidnapped, real
exactly. Yep.
Okay. As you see right now, you got the GoFundMe is not looked at it the same because so many people have abused it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it loses its power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carly Russell. Yeah. And then the charges they gave her. These come on. She's not.
Well, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go after her. The money.
Well, they need to hit her butt in the pocket, because them people that
they're doing
money,
money,
aren't
but
getting their money back.
They're gonna also make her do community service, which is probably gonna be beneath her. But and that's one thing, when you have to do community service and you don't feel entitled that you don't have to really do it, they'll slam that stuff back on you real quick. They'll give you all the instructions in the first time. You got to do this. You follow these 5 things. But if you deviate out of any of these 5 things, we'll go back to the original charge. So that'll be a wake up call.
Which is a misdemeanor. They should have slapped some felonies on her. She got, if I'm correct.
They said with the misdemeanor, it could be for each one, because it's 2 of them. Each one carries 6 months. Each one carries 6 months. And no, I got that wrong. Each one can carry up to a year in jail and up to $6,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I doubt they'll make her, which they should. But
no, they're going after the heavy one. They're going after a portion of because this is what they're trying to claim, is that because her salary isn't they're not going after the parents because of her age. They're not looking at the parents' salary that can handle $100,000 or $200,000.
Yeah.
So they went by her income, which is low. So, they're going to low that. But then they're going to jump on the community part, and that's where it's going to be. Because like I said again, people that feel privileged, they're not going to want to do the community thing. She may do it for the first few weeks.
Yeah, she don't do that community service. They'll lock her butt up. They don't play that.
There you go.
That's on.
There you go.
That's not even. I'm talking about prison time. Not no little 90 days or 60 days.
You're right. You're right.
That's one of the most heinous crimes. All right, somebody getting. Usually people get kidnapped. They don't get returned.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're playing with something that what I'm saying. That's worse than robbing an old person. Like you know what I'm saying. Like even if it wasn't a kid, even an adult being taken. You talk to those people that they live them scars all the time. I had a family member that got a kid taken, and she drunk herself to death.
Yeah.
You can't. Everybody that has kids. Just imagine that. Imagine your kids with you one day now, and you don't even know where they're at. It's not like you know where they're at. That's a little ease. So
like in New York here, they used to have it almost every few days. They would have a different kid on the milk carton, and a lot of those kids were never ever found. So the parents and grandparents had to live with that the rest of their life. Their kids went missing. They either turned their head for a minute at the park or whatever in the supermarket, and it was happening a lot. It wasn't just one case every 5-6 months. It was on the regular.
Yeah. How often did it, you said?
Every 2 to 3 days, it was a different kid on the milk carton. Have you seen this person? Please call this number. Oh yeah. It wasn't like they had to find people to put on the milk carton. That's how crazy it got. They even had task force. This is back in the 70s and 80s. They even had special task force put together because of this craziness. Oh yeah. So, that's why this playing part, nah. This is something you definitely shouldn't. Look at the people, we've seen the stories. Look at the people that have been found, right? That have been rescued or they escaped. And look how horrible and not only physically but mentally they're damaged. It's for years or even for the rest of their life. It's nothing to play with. Nope.
Yeah, there was just a lady. She broke out of a cement thing. It was crazy. Yeah. The guy, from a guy raping her. That was not nice.
That's determination because them cinder blocks are strong.
Huh?
I said that was true determination because she used her hands and the cinder block. That stuff is really strong.
Well, this piece of crap, Oh yeah. We got to bounce from there before we jet. I definitely want to show you this because this is definitely hit home, man, because there's so much pain going on in this world. Check it out.
In a homemade cinder block cell in a home in Oregon, breaking free with her own bloodied hands. The door opening from the outside to that cell. The FBI says she has escaped a serial rapist. They're now looking for more victims across at least 10 states from California all the way to New York. Here's ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gupman tonight.
Tonight, the FBI says a young woman fought tooth and nail to free herself from this cinder block cell to escape from a man they allege is a serial rapist.
The woman fought for her life, beating the doors and the walls of the cell with bloodied hands.
The FBI naming 29-year-old Nagasi Zuberi as the suspect, saying he had many other aliases, but whose career as an alleged predator living in plain sight began to unravel in Seattle on July 15th when he was accused of posing as a police officer. He kidnapped a prostitute. According to the complaint, Zuberi drove her 450 miles to his home in Klamath Falls, Oregon. They say he then locked her in this makeshift cell, cinder blocks, a naked light bulb, that hardback chair, and some water.
He had actually locked her in there for a couple hours at least until she realized that she needed to get out of that residence because her life was in danger.
So they said she decided to fight.
When she was trying to escape the cell itself, she had repeatedly punched it with her own hands, and she had several lacerations along her knuckles.
Through her perseverance, she broke free and waved down a passing motorist, asking for their help to call 911.
The next day, officials capturing Zuberi in this Walmart parking lot in Reno, Nevada. The complaint saying there was a standoff, Zuberi in the car with his children.
It's actually quite common for serial offenders to become more violent as they move along. The fantasy and obsession become much greater. To fulfill it, they have to become more violent.
Authorities already recovering these disturbing handwritten notes. In one, he jotted, "Dig a hole straight down 100 feet. Another, entitled Operation Takeover, describes what appear to be best practices for a kidnapping, including make sure they don't have a bunch of people in their life you don't want any type of investigation. David, investigators say.
Wow. Okay. Yep. And this was just last couple of days ago.
Yeah.
You got some real live sickos.
Yep.
Real live sickos.
And they walk around you like they're normal.
You know, yeah.
Yep.
Building a cinder block. Damn, you got some real time on. But yeah, this is what we dealing with. You know, and the lovely world we live in. Yeah, but I gotta hit these lovely streets of LA at MFC. You wanna say any last words?
Well, I always say from Winning Cipher, you know, we give a shout out to all the people that are dealing with, you know, the craziness that's happening every day. And, you know, we always say keep everything positive. You know, look at the fact that you woke up this morning and you're still alive and breathing and you got your health and your loved ones around you. And like I said, for Winning Cipher, we always say, you know, come on back when you have a chance. Thank you for watching, and you know, have a blessed day, and everyone be safe. And that's how you look at it. Enjoy the rest of the summer. For some people, schools start up in a week or two, where other places school doesn't start till after Labor Day. So, yep.
Never walk on the outside again. It's a possibility he'll get life without parole. Never see the outside again. Tell him what happened when they get caught up with that damn drive-by, what they gonna do to him. Yeah. And for a dumbass, unexplainable, unexcusable murder, life.
Jumped off the JFK to the BX way. I hold my square down firm, any part of the planet. Can't forget about Sean Bell, Mike Brown, Louima, Medina. Down the Mecca flow, stack it, let that money grow swish. Now who's better than this? Ice your list. Get R. Kelly to take a wet piss on your bitch. Mama said ain't no pause button, anyone could get it. He hit it, but it's button to me, stunting to me. Frontin' ass niggas in my presence, getting levitated, hated, beloved. Knock them out and throw them dubs, kid. For them to the desert with this. Jaws the scientist, cook that batch up. Hope them sorry fools act up. Give me reason to trip. We in the belly of the beast. Let them things out. Fuck your sheriff and that pink house. Let them things out. Fuck your sheriff and that pink house. Let them things out. Fuck your sheriff and that pink house.
Sometimes I feel like I'm a diamond stuck in some concrete. I'm on beach, you know me. I stays with the masterpiece. I'm a master beast, causing casualties. One wrong move, that's a fatality. What a tragedy. Why you wanna go and hurt your own self? That's so embarrassing. You better listen to Rocky's wife. You know you can't win. Keep pounding you out till you just submit. Stop talking, motherfucker. We don't hear that shit. Don't beat me in the head with a bunch of bullshit. Better go somewhere with that dumbass shit. Keep it gangsta over here. Ain't got time for that shit. When I see you, motherfucker, I'ma bust your shit. You gon' fuck around, make me empty my whole clip.
Let the things out.